you are starting to see Musk's unpopularity weigh on Tesla's sales.
So we know Tesla Cybertruck, Elon's baby, he had a great deal to do with the production, the design of this. It really is his baby. It's failing, and we're getting more information on it as time goes by. As we can see from this Fortune headline, Tesla is reportedly pulling workers off Cybertruck factory lines and dropping production targets for the model amid plummeting sales. Now, I have been reporting on this and it's continuing. Electric's got the latest here. Tesla Cybertruck is in crisis. New discounts and throttling down production. Fred says here, Fred Lambert, the Tesla Cybertruck is in crisis. The automaker is still sitting on a ton of old inventory, so they're having trouble selling what they've got, let alone making more, which it is now heavily discounting, and it is throttling down production to try to avoid building up the inventory again. When launching the production version of the Cybertruck in late 2023, Tesla CEO Elon Musk claimed that the vehicle program would sell 250,000 units in a year in 2025. I remember that. I listened to the earnings calls. He talks big, but this is not working. This is what he said. I think we'll end up with roughly 250,000 Cybertrucks a year, but I don't think we're going to reach that output rate next year. I think we'll probably reach it sometime in 2025. So, you know, he was basically saying, oh, we're going to sell a lot of these things, but don't expect it to be soon. It'll be 2025, and here we are. Fred says we are now in 2025, and Tesla is expected to currently be selling the Cybertruck at a rate of about 25,000 units a year, a tenth of what Musk predicted. So that was the headline. That's what I put in the title of this video. Just a tenth of what Elon projected, what he predicted. He's been talking about prediction lately, talking about how you're intelligent if you can predict things, if you can predict the future. So by this, he is not very intelligent. In fact, he's a genius, is being questioned by more and more people lately too. Earlier this month, we reported that Tesla began the second quarter with 2,400 Cybertrucks in inventory, valued at over $200 million. You know what's going to happen if they can't sell these things. This is a real problem for Tesla, as many of those Cybertrucks are older 2024 model year units not eligible for the federal tax credit, and even some Foundation series which Tesla stopped building in October 2024, meaning that Tesla is sitting on some 6-month-old trucks in some cases. 6-month-old trucks parked out there somewhere, and people take photos of them piling up in car parks that they can't get rid of. You know, added to this, Elon is gone into Doge. His public popularity has gone way down. We've all seen those surveys, and this is adding to it, I think, anyway. Tesla is now offering deeper discounts on the new inventory of Cybertrucks. The discounts can go as high as $10,000, but the average one is closer to $8,000, which is more than the tax credit. Even with these discounts, I see them offering free wraps and things like that. Even so, they can't get rid of them. Despite Tesla's efforts, the automaker has only reduced its Cybertruck inventory by about 100 units since the beginning of the month. Tesla is now further throttling down production of the Cybertruck at Gigafactory, Texas, according to a new report from Business Insider. So this wouldn't surprise me. They're going to have to do that. Elon can't pretend that there is demand out there and keep producing these. According to 2 Tesla workers speaking with BI, the automaker has reduced its Cybertruck production teams and now operates at a fraction of its original capacity. So they are already doing this. It also moved some Cybertruck production workers to Model Y production at the plant. One of the workers said it feels a lot like they're filtering people out. The parking lot keeps getting emptier. As we previously reported, Tesla has been operating all its factories at approximately 60% capacity to avoid building up excessive inventory amid lower demand. So this is not just for the Cybertruck. Its factories are not producing as much, 60% capacity, they said, because there's just not so much demand. Now, we know in Europe that Elon's reputation has just taken a massive hit since he did those salutes and supported far-right parties, all of the things he's doing, not just one thing, many things. People can see what he's writing on X, on Twitter there, you know, that he's backed it up with some pretty far-right stuff, and I do think that this has a lot to do with it. When it comes to the Cybertruck program, it sounds like Tesla is lowering production even further. Last week, Tesla launched a new version of the Cybertruck in an attempt to boost demand, but it has been poorly received due to the automaker's removal of many essential features. So pared back, you know, make it cheaper to produce, and maybe they can sell it, but it's not going well. You might have seen a video I did a couple ago of a review of the Model Y refresh as well, and it was not a good review, basically saying it's actually worse. There are a lot of people in the comments who disagreed with that, of course. People who support Elon, support Tesla, probably Tesla shareholders who don't want the stock to retreat. You know, that's part of it, of course. And Elon Musk claims Tesla will double US production in the next 2 years. Let's do the math. So this is back in early March, and it was debunked here that another big call by Elon. It's really his propaganda, his optimism, his puffery, which in more and more areas is turning out to be BS, and people are starting to see that, especially with the Cybertruck, which again was his baby. What is going to happen to the Cybertruck? Tesla launches new Cybertruck RWD for $70,000, removes tons of cool features. This pared back Cybertruck, but it's not really working either. Now, this is Electric's take. I'm going to respond to this. There are a lot of other automakers that would have already given up on the Cybertruck with these results, but not Tesla. Musk is not one to admit defeat easily. Yes, because this, again, Elon's baby. He doesn't want to give up on this. It might ending hurt Tesla more than it needs to, because he's hanging on to it, as people tend to do. However, Tesla is running out of options. The new Cybertruck RWD was a desperate attempt, and I doubt it will work. Now it sounds like Tesla is fully throttling down production, virtually confirming that the new trim didn't help. The next step would be a complete production pause. So we'll see what happens. There's earnings coming up. No doubt he won't say that in the earnings call, because the stock price would plummet if he probably did say that. Or actually, at this point, maybe it would go up because people realize that it's a dog with fleas, this Cybertruck, and they probably should just can it. But Elon wants to try and make it work some more. Now, I want to play this video here talking about what has happened in Tesla sales over the past few months, especially the last quarter, but going back, and they have been going down. This is on MSNBC, which goes through it pretty well. It's just a short clip. But first, if you're getting value out of this video, please remember to hit that like button to help the algorithm to spread it to more people. It really does help. Thanks. All right, let's get into this video. Let's see what they're saying.
You said Tesla has actually hit a bit of a bump in the road, no pun intended. But you can see here that Tesla in its early years had huge sales increases, as you would expect, very popular, one of the few makers of really good electric vehicles in the country. But beginning in 2025, its sales kind of stagnated. Combination of really two reasons. One, some competition, more competition from other people trying to get in the business, including domestic manufacturers. Yep. And also the fact that people are getting their models Y and S, two of their most popular models, getting a
look at that. There's a big change there, and it's continuing, getting worse, in fact.
A little bit long in the tooth, so to speak. But look what happened here in the first quarter. In the first quarter, their sales went down 13%, more than they've ever done before.
Okay, and that's when Trump took office, remember, actually took office, won the election back in November, but took office, and Elon was in there with Doge, and that's when his public popularity started to take a dive as he went into government departments, dismantling, saying social security is a Ponzi scheme, all that kind of stuff.
That's across the world. If you look at just the U.S., you can see that all U.S. EV sales are actually up 11% and Tesla was down 9%. And so
that's a big difference. All EV sales up 11% and Tesla down 9%. The difference between those two is pretty gigantic.
what I think you are starting to see, and I'll get to this a bit more in a second, you are starting to see Musk's unpopularity weigh on Tesla's sales.
I agree.
Some of it is expected. Their market share, when you start with a very, very high market share, really only one way to go. And as I said, other people are making them. But look what happened.
That's true. Back when they had that huge market share, a lot of Tesla bulls, Tesla evangelicals still with Tesla, backing Elon all the way into way down the MAGA road, thought that Tesla was going to continue to be in this monopoly situation, dominate the market, joking about the competition coming. Where's the competition? But the competition is well and truly here, and it's having an effect as well as those other things. There are a lot of choices. Yeah, Elon acts like there are no choices, but there are, especially in Europe, where sales are diving, as he's pointing out here.
Happened in Europe in the first quarter. In Europe, their market share dropped enormously. And this, I do think, has heavily related to the unpopularity of both American products, frankly, as well as Elon Musk in Europe.
Interesting.
So yeah, boycott of Tesla, and I've noticed a boycott of wider US products. I've seen that in the comments of videos that people are starting to do that as well because of the Trump regime. They're actually boycotting US products, and of course the tariffs that Trump's doing is not helping himself either.
And so Tesla tanking, what's the reason behind it?
So yes, you can see that.
Okay, there's the stock price. Look at that. So it's taken off all of the gains that it got leading up to the election.
Tesla stock was back in September, October was down here. It had this, when Trump was elected, it took this huge run up because people thought that Musk was simply going to be a great beneficiary of the federal government's largesse. And then you can see that along with all the chaos and commotion and Trump's own personal issues, you can see Tesla stock's gone all the way back down. But Morgan Stanley did a survey, and they found that 85% of investors think that Musk's political activities are going to have a negative impact on Tesla's business fundamentals. And so,
okay, so the thing is that some people watching this who are Tesla shareholders, Tesla bulls, will look at that chart and say, pull back further, because over the past year, it's still up a lot. And that is true. There's a lot of market cap that got put on it because of the Trump favoritism perceived, and now that's come off. But if you go back a year compared to other stocks, it's still up a lot. So what that shows me is that the stock price could drop a lot more. There's still a lot on there. The P ratio is getting really high. The earnings are coming up. Elon is putting a lot of propaganda out there. He'll try and distract, I think, from what's really happening in the sales. It's all about the future, bro. It's all about robots. It's all about FSD, which they'll be launching. So he'll get through these earnings. By the way, this is not financial advice. I'm not suggesting that you either buy or sell Tesla stock. You do whatever you want. I'm not a financial advisor. I can't do that. I've always been a roller coaster ride with Tesla stock.
Again, I think the market is starting to say that Musk is becoming too hot to handle, so to speak. But one other point about Musk that's worth making, which is that for all his talk about being anti-government, anti-government programs and things like that, Tesla has been an unbelievable beneficiary of government largesse. And so this is year by year. You can see here. The biggest piece of all of this, about $1.7 billion, are electric vehicle credits that Tesla sells to other automakers who are forced to comply with our electric vehicle and our fuel emission standards. So ironically, a program that Trump has talked about killing is one of the ones that Musk has been the biggest beneficiary of.
Indeed, and for SpaceX too. A lot of people say this. He's looking for fraud, abuse, and efficiency, while his companies get huge amounts from the federal government, and that is it in a graph there. It's been going up and up. During the Biden years, Tesla did get that. It's continuing, but Trump's talking about it being taken away. So who knows what's going to happen, but the fact is that Tesla has got a lot of government money. Now, I do want to tell you about my new politics channel. I have done some political videos here, but they haven't really done well. Different audience, and YouTube does like people to niche down, narrow down. So if you don't know about it yet, I'll put a link in the pinned comment and the description. So check that out if you want to. You can see some of the videos there. The last one was about Doge, actually. Do go and see that if you want to, if it's your thing. Let me know in the comments what you think about any of that. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm going to put a related video right right there. Go and see that now if you want to. And also a subscribe link. If you're not subscribed here yet, do subscribe if you want to get more of these kinds of videos in the very near future. And thanks for watching this one, and I'll see you in the next one.